Today on Libertas video, we review this Altair Hidden Blade and Vambrace. Welcome to Libertas Video, the channel dedicated to encouraging, entertaining, and inspiring you through costume and prop, builds, and reviews. Now this Altair Hidden Blade and Vambrace that we are reviewing today will be linked in the description below. So if you like what you see, you can use that link to purchase it yourself. Now that is an affiliate link, so if you use it, we will receive a small commission at no additional cost to you. Now this is the Altair Hidden Blade and Vambrace made by Spirit Halloween. Now we are no stranger to reviewing Altair weaponry. We did a review on the Windless Studios Weapons of Altair, so that included the original official replica Hidden Blade made by Windless Studios. We did that years ago now. We've also made our own 3D printed Altair Hidden Blade for our Altair photo shoot, so we are somewhat familiar with the Altair Hidden Blade, but this was a requested prop review by you, so we purchased it ourselves on Amazon. So let's dive right into our thoughts. So first and foremost, what comes with this Vambrace and Hidden Blade? Well, you have this rubberized glove with fabric backing, you get the armor plating, and you get the Hidden Blade, which is operated by this push button. So what do I like about this Altair Hidden Blade and Vambrace? Well, first off, I like the blade length. For a single tiered blade like this, it goes up to roughly my fingertips, so I really like that. That's decent size for these plastic replicas, especially when you compare it to, say, Aguilar's Hidden Blade, which barely went up to the top of the palm. This one going up to the fingertip is a decent and respectable length. So that's a huge plus for an official replica like this. You also have a nice lock on the blade, which prevents any unnecessary firing. Some of these official replicas don't include that, so I'm really glad that they kept that on this particular one. There is also a really good armor plating here. This is nicely detailed, very accurate to what you would see on the Altair Vambrace, but it is also the metallic version, which I absolutely love. If you haven't played the original Assassin's Creed game, Altair's Vambrace kind of steps up as he goes along in the game, and this is kind of the final iteration, is the metal. Even the Windless Studios version and a lot of people who create them themselves go with the more leathered version, which has a lot more black and just some of these designs raised up. But this one being the metallic variation is really cool. So I personally like that a lot. And that kind of ties into a lot of the weathering on this gauntlet. At least the metal portions of it look really good for, you know, a Spirit Halloween prop. So very nice. However, there are some considerable cons. Going back to the blade, although I am glad that it is a decent, respectable size, it's not accurate to Altair's Hidden Blade. This one is a single-tiered Hidden Blade, so something like Edward Kenway's. Altair's is supposed to be a two-tiered Hidden Blade, so you have a secondary system and then the blade comes out. So it should be a lot longer. This is represented on the Windless Studios variation. Put it into my 3D printed version as well. Any of the concept art or in-game stuff would show you that as well. So why they didn't do it, I don't know. Especially when you look at Ezio's Hidden Blade, the Brotherhood version, which is two-tiered as well. Just doesn't make sense why they would kind of lose out on that here. So loses a lot of points for me when it's not even accurate to what is in the game. Additionally, while I do like the detail on the plates here, when you look at the main housing of the Hidden Blade, there's just kind of half-hearted designs here. You look at the Assassin's Creed logo, and it's really not representative of the Assassin's Creed logo. I mean, they might have been trying to go for a more rustic look, but just kind of comes off as sloppy looking, so that's kind of disappointing. You also have some pretty thin plastic and materials on here as well. Not that I don't have a lot of faith that they're going to last a long amount of time or take a fall fairly well. So you kind of expect that from a Halloween prop store piece, but you know, for the price, you kind of expected a little bit more. So that's a little disappointing as well. Additionally, we go back to the blade. The blade size does come at somewhat of a cost when you look at it on my wrist. The blade kind of sticks out to my palm, and that's because they made the blade housing pretty small and the blade relatively long. A lot of that could have been solved if they just made the blade housing longer or done the two-tiered system, and the blade would be even longer and actually hide itself a little bit better. So this kind of does interrupt some of your wrist movement as you move along. So the blade size does come at a cost. Finally, while I am grateful that they included a glove and a gauntlet Vambrace thingy made out of rubber, it is a nightmare to get off if you have any sort of perspiration. So if you've been walking around a costume party or a convention with this thing is going to stick to your hand and you're gonna just have a terrible time trying to take it off. So I would recommend going with a real fingerless glove and some sort of Vambrace, whether you get a leather one or if you make one out of foam. You're gonna serve yourself a lot better if just going that route rather than continuing using this rubber mess. So at the end of the day, I'm really torn on this Altair Hidden Blade and Vambrace. On the one hand, I don't want to recommend it, but at the same time, I don't want to shy people away from it either. And it really is going to come down to your best judgment. I personally really like the armored detail. I think it's nice that it's a complete package. However, the cons are so considerable to me that it really poses a dilemma. I think at the end of the day, if you're just getting into Assassin's Creed cosplay, or if you're interested and don't want to spend too much money getting into it, or if you're just using it for a quick Assassin's Creed costume for Halloween, this might serve your purposes just fine because it is generic enough that people will understand you're an assassin, you know. So there's that. However, if you're into Assassin's Creed cosplay or if you're a huge fan of Altair, I think the lack of detail on the actual hidden blade itself, the fact that it's not two-tiered, I think you're just going to be really disappointed at the end of the day. So that's where I'm at. But if you're thinking to yourself, yes, this hidden blade is for me, it's going to serve my purposes just fine. As a reminder, I'm putting a link in the description below. But if this isn't for you, we have done a ton of Assassin's Creed Hidden Blade reviews on this channel. Everything from the cheaper plastic official replicas all the way up to the dual action hidden blades and in between with the 3D printed and metal hidden blades. So we have a lot of experience with these hidden blades, and hopefully that will be some resource to you so you can make a very wise purchasing decision. But that's going to do it for this particular review. As always, you can connect with us on Instagram and Facebook at Libertas Video. And if this video was useful, helpful, and gave you some good insight, give it a thumbs up so other people can find it as well. And if you're a fan of what we're doing here on this channel, we release videos every Thursday, so subscribe for everything that we're building and reviewing. We'll see you on the next Libertas video.